722 here, Big 550 KTRS. And being an Irishman and at risk of being thrown out of the Irishman Club, Irish music is great, but a steady diet of it every day, it's just would drive you crazy.
Really? Now
Yes.
let me ask you this.
Yes.
If you're an Irishman and
Yes.
you know what they say about the Irish.
Oh, they say quite a bit about the Irish.
But if you're Irish,
You need to narrow it down.
They say you can kiss the Irish.
Yes.
So in that case, would you be okay with having music with kisses every day? Do you think?
Depends on who's kissing me. Jimmy Holder, no. No, I don't want any kisses from Jimmy Holder. All right, so Derek Robinson, Bishop Derek Robinson is a well, how would you describe him?
A prominent protester, one of the protest community
Prominent
leaders.
protesters, somebody who his profile has risen over the last couple of months because of this.
Certainly, yes.
And so he happened to appear on MSNBC, and I don't know about you, Farrah Fazal, but I've been quite critical of all of the networks who are trying to cover Ferguson, because I think they give you, as somebody who's been on these shows, they give you 3.5 minutes and they want you to explain the history of Ferguson and why there's a racial divide. Okay, go. Right, so you just can't. It's impossible, and then they put you with somebody who is opposite of you, and so you get a minute and a half, and it just sort of doesn't do the topic justice.
Look, I think that the greatest disservice, and as a journalist I will tell you this, it is really important to have context to things.
Yes.
And so when you take things out of context, if I'm talking to you about Ferguson today where there's nothing going on, and then I show you video from August where there was a lot going on, that is not context.
Right.
That doesn't help me tell a story accurately. And I'll tell you this, I really believe that networks have to be responsible we on the local level are.
Right.
We are very, very conscious about what video we use, what what interviews we use that are reflective, that are in context to issues. You just don't throw, people getting tear gassed when today there's nothing going on.
Well, I always make the point where ABC will show 3 hours of The Bachelor, and I'll be allowed 3.5 minutes on CNN to sort of tell the story. It just seems like it's out of whack. But with that being said, this Bishop Derek Robinson, who, as you said, is a prominent protester, a prominent spokesman for the protesters, was appearing yesterday on MSNBC with Tamron Hall, and they were discussing the arrest of Jeffrey Williams. Now, this Derek Robinson visited this Jeffrey Williams while in jail, and here's how this conversation went yesterday on MSNBC.
There was the report that he believed that he had been robbed by someone and that he was seeking out vengeance on the group of protesters because of some incident that had happened. Did he know anything about that?
Well, he did say that he was robbed while he was on the scene, and that thing. And I think he was just. I believe he was frustrated, and I really believe he was set up. And I really believe that, and I know it may not.
Set up by who?
Some of the.
Let me pause you on that. Set up by whom?
Police. I think he was set up by. I would go further to say some of the police. The story just does not add up.
Okay, but let me, because I can't let you. Obviously, I can't let you say that he was set up by police. What evidence or proof do you have of that? Because right now, as I understand it, he has confessed. They found the caliber of weapon that was used was with him. And he has, according to police, admitted to firing those shots. So what is the setup, sir?
Well, I think he was beaten when he was brutally beaten. When he was arrested, and I think he was coerced he was not even given an opportunity to seek counsel before the police, they beat him to confessing. And so, not sure, but I will allow his attorney, as he's meeting with them now, to kind of give further questions and to be able to answer more questions concerning what was his response. But I think that things would have been different if he was offered a public defender or an attorney to allow them to speak with him prior to
Bishop, are you saying that did he or did he not say that?
Is that the end of it? Oh. So at some point she cuts him off, right? At some point, after he spews all this, then she says, "I'm sorry, there's no evidence, we have to go." It's just so ridiculous.
So I talked to Bishop Robinson on his way to see Jeffrey Williams yesterday afternoon.
Okay, so right before this interview.
Right before this interview.
Okay.
He told me exactly all of those things.
Yes.
What I said I asked Bishop Robinson, what proof do you have? And what he said to me is, well, there were no cameras rolling. We don't have any proof that the officers beat him up. What I know is that he has a lot of bruises. Now, to be fair, his lawyer, Jeffrey Williams' lawyer, Gerald Christmas, also contends that his confession was not voluntary, and that he actually says as well that there was some the beating happened, he said, as Jeffrey Williams was arrested. Now, we talked to St. Louis County Police yesterday. They sent us a statement yesterday afternoon after we asked them about all of this. And what they said is they categorically deny, absolutely false, these allegations. Thank you, McGraw. So and then we asked them, what was the protocol for interviewing him and arresting him? And what police told us is that the interview was videotaped and audio taped. One of the allegations has been that he was not given a lawyer or access to a lawyer.
Right.
And so I asked county police, and what they told us is that that's part of their protocol for police, so they wouldn't answer that.
He was Miranda's, right, or Mirandized. So he was.
Well, that would be protocol,
right? So, which is, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If one can't be provided, one will be given to you, right? All of that. So, and if he chose not to ask for an attorney, that's not the police officer's fault.
And I asked Gerald Christmas that.
Right.
Why weren't you there, and why didn't anybody call you, or why wasn't there a public defender? And what Gerald Christmas told me, who is the lawyer for Jeffrey Williams, is that, he said, look, this is a 20-year-old kid. He was scared. He's in the middle of a manhunt.
Right.
Everybody and their dog wants him. And he said he was,
I also love how they're sort of insinuating like, hey, he was robbed, so he was just trying to fight back. He was upset and he was robbed, so he shot a guy. So he was shooting somebody, and unfortunately, a police officer got hurt. I mean, it's so delusional. It's so such a warped sense of reality. He was robbed, and so he was trying to get back at the guy. And it just so happened there was a cop there when he shot somebody else. He wasn't meaning to shoot the cop. I mean, it's just delusional that we're having a conversation about somebody who was arrested, who shot somebody, tried to shoot somebody, missed that person, and ended up shooting two police officers who millimeters one way or the other could be dead. I mean, we're not talking, shot him in the foot or what. One was shot in the face, one was in the chest. So
that aside, who did it? Let's say there is some contention about that. The point is, two police officers who were on the beat that day were shot.
And somebody, if it turns out to be this guy, if not whatever else, but they found the gun in his house, we'll wait for all the facts to come out. They're innocent until proven guilty. But if it turns out to be this guy, and what even his police, even his attorneys and this Bishop Robinson are kind of saying and kind of insinuating, it's just, and do you really think the police officers are going to beat this guy with so much attention on this case? Anyway, all right. Boy, we got a lot going on this morning, Farrah.
We do have a lot going on.
You got me wired up.
What's up with that?
7:32 here, Big 550.